Alright, so a little bit of context, I suppose. I wake up at like 5 in the morning, and so I'm pretty much out of the house by like 5:30. Got like a half-hour long drive down fucking empty ass roads. You know, just straight lines. I've listened to pretty much everything I want to, so I'm usually fucking bored for all of these. I decided, hey, what if I made content? Because I'm busy with my full-time job. Too busy to really like want to work on too many video projects right now because they take a while. And I was already slow enough as is, like 3 to 4 weeks per video when I had as many jobs as I had bitches. Yeah, no, it's gonna be slow. But I still play video games quite a lot because I have to keep renewing my subscription to Virginity. Because, you know, once that plan wears off, you can't get back on it. I got a grandfather deal going on here. So that's kind of what this is gonna be. I'm just gonna like record myself just being a dumbass for 30 minutes a day, or maybe even an hour because of the afternoon. Get clips of it and just post it every couple weeks, maybe? I don't know. Anyways, rambling aside, I guess we could just get into it. So, probably one of the only new games I've been playing, and one that I kind of wanted to review, but after playing, realized, oh, this is gonna be bad. Well, not bad, but I just don't want to make a video on that game. It just was a level of dull that I could have like made it funny, but it's just not, you know, how I want to talk about a game. Essentially, this is a game that my friend would not stop bothering me about. Just to do a review, and I wasn't sure why. I never asked him because I kind of like the idea of, oh, he's really insistent. Sure, I trust his judgment. Turns out, when I bought the game, he only played it for like 30 minutes. I don't know if he's played it previously somewhere else, because it's also like 12 years old, something like that. Which came out 2008, I think. So, it's a game, it's a Portal clone. And I don't usually like to call something a clone, but this, you know, this is around the time where Portal came out. Portal came out like 2007, this was early 2008. This game came out early 2008, and it's very much like Portal. You have big puzzle rooms, you go between puzzle rooms, it tries to tell you stories between the rooms, and it revolves around some kind of like puzzle mechanic. Admittedly not the most, unique thing to call something a clone over, but considering the time frame, I think it's very fair to realize what they were going for. This game is called The Ball, and I kind of love it for as much as I said that it was really dull. That's because everyone remembers the companion cube room from Portal 1, where you had this little cube. The whole mission was about taking this one cube through the entire level, unlike other Portal levels where when you have a cube, they're generally disposable. You put it on a button, fuck off for the rest of the level, whatever. This cube specifically, you had to take with you the rest of the level. It was made so that you solved one part of the puzzle, picked up the cube, or did something that allowed you to take the cube back with you and finish the rest of the level. When you reach the end of the level, you have to incinerate it. I think the devs said, you know, what if every level was the companion cube level and you never had to incinerate it? In fact, what if we made setting the ball on fire one of the puzzle mechanics? And that's just the ball. That's literally it. Like, it's a game where the entire puzzle mechanic revolves around the ball. You have a ball gun. Like, it doesn't shoot balls, but it like controls your balls. Yeah, let's go with that. You know, you have a gun that pulls on the ball. You have a gun that pushes your ball, and that's it. And the reason I said it's so dull is because, admittedly, I've only played like 3-4 hours of it. Apparently the game's only 8 hours long, so technically about a third of the way through. I don't know how much that is about meandering about, because that movement speed in that game is very slow. It really feels like it's a bit of a slog to just like move between areas. And it isn't helped by, like I said, the predictability. Because for me, when I played of it, I kind of just kept walking forward and just not stopping, because the puzzles were like so easy. And I'm not a great puzzle guy, I'll put that out there, that I was just walking forward because I see a very obvious part of the puzzle. I just walk to it, see what it does, and I'm like, okay, I guess I know what to do next. So then I do the thing, and then I see the next thing pop up, and like no puzzle has made me ever stop to think. So that's kind of why I'm just always moving forward, and why the movement speed just feels so slow as a result, because I'm kind of just wanting to get to the good puzzles, assuming there are any. But the main reason I kind of want to talk about that game is because it's just such a fascinating relic of the time. If I were to describe how this game feels, or like just the experience of playing it, it's like playing all of those really like B-tier 3D platformers from the really early, like late 90s, early 2000s. Like the ones that just had a weird fucking idea and kind of like tried to make themselves seem interesting, but when you actually played them, it was just not, you know, it was maybe okay, it was maybe fine, some parts could have been good, but overall there was just a level of bland to them, despite some kind of crazy weird idea. The theme around the ball is an ancient alien Aztec ruin, housing a civilization that essentially raised humanity and taught them how to survive, only for humanity to turn around and subjugate the alien Aztecs. All of this while you're doing puzzles around a ball. Everything is taken so seriously. The first cutscene, I would say, is actually pretty solid. It's got some nice cinematography, even if some of the lighting's a bit excessive, but overall I thought it was kind of cool. The problem is, literally right before it, you get a title drop of the logo before the cutscene even starts. It just shows the words, "The Ball," on screen, and the space between the two words just looks like a beach ball. And then you see these narrated like lore pillars just sitting there. And God, these are so stupid. It takes the lore so seriously, and the first one you read is so dumb. Like, they refer to the ball as this like super powerful artifact called the ball. It's literally called the ball. It went something like, "They took the ball from us and used its power to subjugate our people. We raised them and they turned on us." Like that's pretty much what the whole thing was, with more words. And oh my God, it was just a fucking riot. Like, the only way it could have been better is if they got the voice actor who did the fucking Doom 2016 like hell lore tablets.
"They took the ball from us, subjugated our people, banished us to the realm underground. We called those humans the Ball Slayers."
It's like, oh my God, it's kind of campy as fuck, and I love it. That game just takes itself so seriously to the point of being really cheesy, and also it has ball combat. Like, again, going back to 3D platformers of that era, where they kind of tried to be like, okay guys, we have a 3D platformer that's kind of fucking boring. What do we do? And they answer that with, just add combat. Like, add like occasional arena combat. Like, let's make a bootleg spectacle fighter before spectacle fighters were even a thing, really. What year did DMC 1 come out? I forget. I'm not like an idiot when I edit this later. But yes, the ball combat, it is literally just, you take the ball and you roll it into people. Like, they try to avoid the ball, but only if it's moving at a certain speed. So, what I found for the combat is, you kind of stand still and just wiggle the ball back and forth, and then enemies will just run into it and splatter on it because it's moving just slow enough most of the time that they won't try and avoid it and run straight at you. But then when you like move it around, you know, wiggle it back and forth, it will start to move just fast enough to just make the enemies go splat. Alternatively, they set the speed just so that while you are just walking forward with the ball, and it can't hurt anyone, and they'll just run at you and get stuck, and it's kind of funny. But jumping increases your speed slightly, so if you just start bunny hopping, you can essentially just walk forward and kill all the enemies. So far I haven't seen many varieties of enemies. There's been 2. They pretty much die the same. One is a regular melee enemy, just charges at you. The other is a ranged enemy. Said ranged enemy pretty much won't ever hit you because you have a giant fucking house-sized ball in front of you at all times. Like, goddamn. It's so boring, but also kind of funny, even though it's totally gonna get boring because, you know, they're throwing it so often. The only times that the enemies have been remotely interesting is when they kind of tried to work them into the puzzle as well. But yeah, it's one of those weird things where some of the puzzle solutions aren't hard, but you just wouldn't expect them because the game doesn't really introduce them very well. Like, there was one puzzle in particular that I remember being annoying. It's the only puzzle that's really like took me longer than 2 minutes to solve. And it was this one big box where your ball was just stuck. You couldn't do anything with it. And it was also attracting like a ton of nails, like really big nails. So you had to go all the way around the outside of this box to go up some stairs. That's it. There's really not much of a puzzle to this, actually. It's not really even a puzzle. But there's infinitely respawning enemies in this narrow corridor. So you just had to get past them. Like, you can't do damage to enemies at all. You can apparently put enough force on them from a small point, being this gun, on their chest to literally blow them back like 10 feet, like one enemy at a time, granted. But it doesn't do damage. Nope, because apparently these Aztec alien zombie things are fucking immortal unless they touch balls. Because I guess the ancient alien Aztec civilization's one weakness was homosexuality. It was an awful puzzle because even if you manage to bring all the enemies into this one little pool of water, because apparently if they fall in water they instantly die, they would just respawn so fast. So I would wait for them to all spawn, then I would kill them all in the water. Once they all spawned, there would be no enemies, but they would spawn so fast that I'd have to keep like bunny hopping to get to the end and hope I just didn't get locked in a corner and died. And then when you get up to the top, I swear this is the funniest fucking part too. And then when you get to the top, you make it up the stairs and you press a button to release your ball. But it actually showed you this. When it released the ball, all of the nails shot out like fucking railguns for some reason. Apparently simply removing magnetic polarity from something caused these nails to just shoot out everywhere. Sure. But the funny fucking thing is, doing that, it hurt you. Like, the solution to the puzzle hurt you because you were still like in its radius, because the button was right in front of an open window just out on looking the arena. so it hurt you when you solved the puzzle. Thankfully, in this game, if you die, it does not reset the puzzle. You just die and go back. Okay, I think you do have to, like, redo parts of the puzzle, because it, like, you know, you have to go back, grab your ball and everything. But it doesn't, like, reset the changes you've made to the puzzle, which sounds bad, but so far, the puzzles don't seem complex enough that that having the game not reset the puzzle really soft locks you out of anything that I've seen. They wouldn't put it past this game. And another really weird thing this game does is, like, between a few of the areas, you have to put your ball on a minecart and then just drive the minecart. The minecart, it just goes. Like, it just keeps going for, like, I swear, like 3+ minutes each time. You're just staring at this fucking, I kind of want to say ugly ass game, but it's like 12 years old, so, you know, I don't think it's the worst looking game. I think its style's okay. The biggest thing it suffers from is diversity of the fucking locales you're fighting in. All the puzzle areas are like the same kind of parts. The outside environment may look different, but essentially it's kind of the same, like, walls, tunnels, and stuff you've been looking at. It somehow manages just to be more boring looking than Portal. Like, I'll be honest, I think the first Portal looks really boring. Like, it's just lab rooms, from what I recall. I know there's the part where you, like, get outside the simulation, like the testing rooms and all that. And that was actually cool. Like, I'm gonna be honest, that was really cool. But, you know, it was still a bit boring. But I will say, if there was any kind of, like, aesthetic to have that pretty much never changes, that was one of the better ones. Like, they pulled that off really well. And it also, like, you know, and it even made sense because it also was very important for solving puzzle. Because white surfaces, portals go on. The brown surfaces, portals don't go on. Very black and white. It's very important. This just doesn't have that. It's just boring because they couldn't think of anything. And that's it. So that's the ball. I think it's not good. I don't think it's bad. It's just okay. And I think that's fine, you know? That's fine. Because it's just like a really neat relic from that area, like I said earlier, I think. It really is. I might play it more and be like, here's part 2 of the ball. I'm not sure if the ball needs a part 2, but it might get it.
Alright, it is late in the afternoon. Getting off work for the day. Tired as all fuck. Yeah, it's worth noting that while I said I wake up early in the morning, I also work quite late. Oh, motherfucker, I forgot to put on my goddamn seatbelt. Thankfully, I'm still in the parking lot. Well, actually not that late. It's just afternoon. Basically, you know how I said I work late, or I wake up early. I also work late. Yeah, about like 12.5-hour long days. It's not that bad, especially because you only work like 3 days a week, but it's definitely rough, especially when some days can just go on longer than that, you know? A good day is 12.5 hours, but you're also technically there 13 hours, you know, just before you clock in and all that. God. So, you know, I was just so tired from a kind of stressful day. It's whatever. I don't feel like going to get something. Because I honestly... Uh-oh, spaghetti-o, someone's house is on fire. I hope they're okay. I always hate seeing fire trucks. But yes. Also, I should probably note that, like, if you leave me without a script just to say whatever the fuck, I'm gonna sound like a goddamn idiot. I'll just say the dumbest fucking things out of nowhere. Anyways, so yes, I honestly don't have time to make myself food, which is nice, you know. I live with my family, so, well, I'll be honest. Well, I was actually gonna say, oh, it's nice because you have dinner waiting for you when you get home, but my parents have always ate at like 9 in the morning or 9 at night. Like 9 o'clock is our dinner time. I don't know how it is for anyone else, but as far as I'm aware, that's stupid. like compared to other people, that is really late. But yeah, no, my family eats at like 8 or 9 at night. So I'm pretty much sleeping right as dinner gets finished. So I really don't have time to get myself something to eat. So I either don't eat dinner, or I'll pick something up from the way home, because whatever. I shouldn't, but, you know, what are you gonna do, really? I'm not much of a cook. At the moment, I've been dabbling in the culinary arts. The arcane ways of the baking. And yeah, I'm so tired, I don't even feel like doing that. So I noticed there was a vending machine in the place I worked at that sold sandwiches. Like full ass sandwiches. Well, I'm not gonna say full ass because they were like smallish, but they were pretty cheap, like $2.50, and they had like a cheesesteak sandwich. And like right across from the vending machine was like a microwave to heat it up at. I said, you know what? This is a plan. I had a plan. I've been planning this since I had lunch at 3 in the afternoon because it was a busy day. I clocked in at like 6:30. I basically worked like 9 hours without having lunch or breakfast. You know, I had a coffee. All of my calories go into lunch. All of them. This is a horrible way to live. I want to point you out. Like, people are made to work on like multiple smaller meals. Like, hey, if eating one big meal works for you, then go for it. But it's not the most efficient use of your body. Anyways, I go to this vending machine. I get the cheesesteak because I'm a pretty big sucker for a cheesecake. Cheesecake, cheesesteak. Fuck. I'm tired. So, I microwave it, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be real honest. This isn't some Ashens like, hey, look at this Poundland fucking cheesesteak. It's shit. Let me laugh at it all posh like, ho ho ho. No, this was okay. This was actually a pretty solid cheesesteak. Like, the bread, kind of fluffy. It was a really decent bread. Kind of wish it got toasted, but you know, microwaves can only do so much. The meat, it was small. It was just roast beef, you know. It was basic as fuck. It was okay quality. It was kind of, the flavor was kind of hidden beneath all the other ingredients, which is kind of like what I like in sandwiches. I'm not a big meat guy. Like, I don't like a ton of meat. You ain't gonna throw a steak in front of me and be like, yo, this is a good steak. I'll eat it and be like, this is a good steak, but I won't like it, if that makes sense. I like meat as a complement to my food. Meat is like the binding flavor, but it's also the weakest flavor, in my opinion. Like, I just really enjoy fillers in sandwiches more than I do the meat. I know it sounds weird, but that's just me. Like, everyone always be like, oh man, you know, I go to McDonald's, they gave me like a tiny ass patty and pumped it full of fucking ketchup and onions. I'm sitting there like, oh yeah, give me more onions. Give me some of that pickles too, yeah. But, and that's kind of what that sandwich was. It was basically a single slice of roast beef. That is okay with me. It was a thick slice too, so, you know, it wasn't the worst. Mayonnaise, had a decent bit of mayonnaise. The mayonnaise and the cheese flavor kind of like blended together when it melted in the microwave. But like, it was solid. It had a decent amount of peppers, which were also fairly flavorful. Like, I'll give it credit, there was some decent peppers in there. So, it was a decent sandwich. I kind of want, like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna return to that vending machine. I'm gonna do it. That was interesting. They had like a Thai roast beef melt with some weird looking sauce. Ooh, I'm gonna try that next, maybe. Or maybe just have another cheesesteak. Fuck. I had a cake because it was like a celebration for like a specific position in the job. I don't know. And they had this cake. It was basically a giant fucking brownie. Oh man. I thought I'm gonna eat like a salad today, have hummus, chickpeas, some weird like mangoes that was also steeped in like a sour sauce. So it was fucking delectable, man. I ate like a pound of that. I ate like a pound of salad because I'm hangy. And then they offer me a gigantic slice of this brownie, basically. Oh god, I downed it. Oh god, I felt so awful. But I loved it. I don't eat healthy. I don't know how I'm not, I don't know how I am endlessly bordering being like within normal weight. Like, I'm overweight. I have had a beer belly since I was like 6 years old, but I have never been more than that. Like, I have such a dad bod. I am just scrawny ass arms and legs, or like normal size depending, for my physique, then just like beer belly. It's kind of fucking funny. I've been working on it, but god, school, work, having a body that's fucking shit. Whoo, hoola. It's really hard to pump iron in the gym when waking up in the morning and your back is literally screaming eldritch incantations of pain into your fucking synapses. God, I'm still thinking about that sandwich. I could just be so fucking tired, and it's like a safer work version of just being high and having the munchies, but like, god, I'm a sucker for cheesecake. Cheese steaks, oh my fucking god. I'm so tired. This is gonna be such fun rambling. I'm having so much fun doing this. Just literally losing my shit in the car. I wish I could play something over the speaker. Oh, no, never mind. Blah. Yeah, word of advice, I will say. You might say, oh man, I'm working 12 hours. Doesn't sound too bad. You really got to consider like how mentally taxing the job is. Physically, bruh, I couldn't like go. I can still like fucking do a pound of cocaine and like fuck a bitch. Nah, man. Like, physically, I'm good. Like, so good. But mentally, it's just my brain's in overdrive. Still, it's been like half an hour since I've actually like left the building, and it just gets weirdly hard. It actually gets hard to sleep when you're this tired, because your brain is still like taxing itself. It's trying to like, you still think about work, this kind of work, after the job ends, even if it's like completely subconsciously. Your body is getting ready for the next day because you have to go home and immediately sleep. Your body just cannot sleep very well, at least for me. Because like I said, I'm not physically exhausted, I'm just mentally worn out. So I go home and fuck, man, I could play like a shitload of Vermintide and go when I do. Like, I've done that. I've literally done that. Because when you work 3 days in a row, 3 13-hour shifts, you're like, fuck it, I'm going to be fucking bored and tired no matter what. I'm going to play some Chaos Wastes. Because that shit's like an hour, do a run round of Chaos Waste, have fun, and go to sleep. And you know what? Sometimes I might regret it, because, I go to sleep a little bit later than I normally would, but, sometimes I was just going to go to sleep late to begin with because of that. So just keep that in mind is my advice. Like, they're just things you don't think about when you plan out your day under the guise of this mystical 12-hour schedule. But when you actually get into it and you account all the bullshit that can happen, you learn, oh fuck, maybe this isn't as good. I mean, I'm still liking it. I haven't done it too often. I've gotten somewhat used to it over my education and stuff like that. But yeah. Oh yeah, and also I'm taking 5 classes for my bachelor's degree as well as working full time. So, just leaving it out there. I could just slam the gas pedal right now. Just turn left. There's so many trees. It's like that. Okay, I'm only joking here, but God, when you're tired like this, you just don't give a fuck. Which is good, because I don't get any fucks to begin with. So I have some good and bad news. I know it's been like a minute for you guys, but for me, it's been like a day, and I'm kind of distraught, a little. This morning, I went to go to the sandwich vending machine, get a breakfast. Got breakfast. It's afternoon, tired. I don't mind going someplace, but you see, when I got my breakfast, right behind the breakfast sandwich were White Castle burgers. Fucking vending machine, White Castle. I go there, lunch. They weren't taken. Both of them were still there. I genuinely have no idea if anyone even buys those fucking things. But I go to put in the code for the vending machine. Product unavailable. I type it in again. Product unavailable. I type it in one last time. I cancel the order. Try and see if it's maybe a computer glitch. Product unavailable. I resigned my fate to a burgerless night. So I think, you know what? Thai beef wrap looks like ass. Maybe could be good. Sauce, if it's like a sweet and sour sauce, could be good. Product unavailable. I go to the good old cheesesteak that I had yesterday. Product unavailable. Or sorry, it wasn't unavailable, it was disabled. Like, this isn't like a vending machine where I put in an order and it somehow makes shit on the spot. No. They're all prepackaged food. And I could see them. I could see my reflection, the hunger in my eyes. But it just wasn't meant to be. Product disabled. I'm so pissed. I am so fucking pissed, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm actually not pissed, but like, I was literally, I cannot tell you how much I was looking forward to my vending machine White Castle at the end of my 13-hour-long shift. Vending machine White Castle. But alas, I do have good news though. This morning for breakfast, I did have something from that vending machine when the products were not. It was an egg salad sandwich. And I feel like anyone who has watched Ashens for any period of time knows what they're getting into when I say $2 prepackaged sandwich deal. And yeah, it's about what you'd expect. Bread was not great. My expectations were kind of set high after the cheesesteak, but maybe the egg will serve it. It's kind of what you expect, where it looks thick because they put a giant dollop in the middle when they cut it in half. But like the sides, there was just nothing. And that's whatever, you can just squish it a little bit and it'll kind of spread out. It's not too big of a deal. The egg itself, it was about what you'd expect from an okay egg salad sandwich, actually. The thing with egg salad sandwiches, and this is something that I feel like I've come to realize more, that a friend mentioned it, egg salad sandwiches, or just egg salad in general, it's like, it can never be bad, really. Honestly, I feel like I've never had a great egg salad sandwich. Or, sorry, I keep saying sandwich, egg salad in general. The only kind of egg salad I've had, like, really good is a Persian potato egg salad, where it's like shredded chicken, peas, potatoes, boiled eggs. Sometimes you can have pickles and mustard in it, as well as the mayonnaise. Like, that shit is good. And especially if you can get like some nacho cheese Doritos on top of that, get that good crunch and some extra cheesiness on there. Mwah. Persian potato salad, Persian potato chicken salad. Absolutely fucking stellar. But it's also a billion other things other than just like an egg salad, So it was run of the mill. I'd say it was enjoyable as a cheap product. It was also a little too peppery, I'll admit. pretty peppery. I like egg with pepper. Well, when I do eat eggs, I don't eat eggs too often. So decent. 300 calories. You know, it's pretty solid start to my day. I was not hungry, and even though I had lunch at like 2 in the afternoon. It's at 2 in the morning. Good lord. So overall, pretty good experiences with that vending machine. Cheap too. $2? Hell yeah. But man, White Castle could have had $2, literally $1 per burger, because it came with a pack of 2. $1 per burger. You don't understand. To anyone who's not had White Castle, even like the really shitty cold White Castle burgers that you have to reheat in your microwave, those are still kind of good. Like, they are not the real thing. But anyone has had those slider burgers, woo, that's some good shit. There's some good shit right there. I'm telling you, if any of you have a White Castle or Crystals in your area, fucking try it. It's so good. Or I guess or anything like honestly related, like to having these like little really thin slider burgers. It's just they're just so good. God, the buns are so fucking fluffy. I'm gonna dox myself here and say I'm pretty sure I'm not within like 50 miles of a White Castle. Like, there's one White Castle in 50 miles, and the only reason I was able to have White Castle was because I was going to it was some family members were going to a hospital for a treatment way up north in my neck of the woods, down here in Florida. Like, man, it's so far away from the nearest White Castles, you have no idea. But I had it, and it was so good. And it's like super popular that I don't understand why there's only one. It's so fucking popular. Like, people just want this White Castle so bad that on pretty much any day you go there, apparently, it's like a 3-hour-long wait. If you come there, like, any time resembling lunch. It's kind of silly. Oh shit, I am so fucking glad. Christ, I almost forgot my ID card. Oh my god. I'm like, oh man, I feel like I'm forgetting something in the morning, right? I look down, I'm like literally almost at my workplace. I'm like fucking almost 10 minutes away. And I see my ID card in like the ashtray of this car. Or like the little compartment of this car. And I'm like, oh fuck, imagine if I didn't have that. Because that's part of my uniform, and it'd be like, oh no. Plus I couldn't like clock in or anything without this damn thing. I wouldn't even have access to half my job without this card, fuck. Listen, I'm a responsible adult. I'm not. I'm just not an adult. Oh well. Crisis averted. Accidentally. Oh, Jesus Christ. There's actually... God. I'm sorry, I got distracted because I'm watching students get on a school bus at 6 in the morning. I literally have to wake up this early for a very specific job. And I recognize how fucking stupid this is. I totally forgot that high schools started this early in my area. Oh my god, I fucking hate that. They always tell you that, oh, it's because when you grow up, you'll have a job and be miserable enough to wake up at 6 in the morning. And I'm like, no, you're just trying to not complain because seeing the teachers complain, I don't know. It's just the dumbest fucking thing. I fucking hate it. Like, I guess I didn't mind it myself because that's me, but I always knew it was fucking bullshit. Like, whenever I had a previous full-time job or part-time job, 9 in the morning. I had to, I was there 9 in the morning. My mother, she works 8 in the morning. Sometimes 7, but, it's not 6 in the morning for a fucking 17-year-old.
Hello, good quality me here. I just want to apologize for, slow video content and all that. As I mentioned, busy job, lots of school, and I still have out of work learnings for my job, which is really annoying. Pair that with the fact that recently my hips have decided to fuck off to planet Pain Town, and it's made sitting down really painful. As I'm sure you all aware, when you play games you tend to be a lazy sack of shit, and it doesn't really mix well with pain in your hips. So yeah, that's really it. I'm thinking this could probably be some kind of like, you know, once every 2 weeks thing, like I mentioned earlier, and just go from there while I work on new video content. I have more free time coming up, a little bit more, like just enough that I might be able to do stuff, so I'm happy about that. But right now I kind of want to try this as like a, I played a game, I liked the game, but probably don't want to like do a video on it, or don't want to go like as hard as other game reviews I've done in the past. So hopefully this was interesting enough to just hear me ramble about a game and some various topics that happened in my life and things I've seen. Maybe? I don't know. I'll fucking see once I upload this shit.